reading for you guys here live on YouTube. I am going to be pulling some charms today as well as pulling some cards. I'm not sure how long this reading is going to be, but I'm going to try my best to see if I can get any good messages here for you guys. And I just want to check my audio really quick before I get going. There we go. Okay, perfect. So I'm back today to do this reading. Just want to remind everybody that if you're watching me live, then it's going to be applicable to you in some way because I'm reading the energy for you and anybody who's watching. But also, I want to remind everybody that I am reading for a variety of people. And if, for whatever reason this doesn't resonate with you, it might not resonate yet. A lot of things that I say happen later in time. And a lot of people have come back to me after a long period of time and said, yeah, actually, you told me that this was going to happen and I didn't believe you. And then later on, it came to pass. So just kind of bear that in mind. I keep wanting to remind people of that. So I am going to jump in and pull some cards. Before I do that, I do want to say I'm still partnering with Jackery. The link is in the description box, as well as I'm still booking private readings. I, at this point in time, can only book basically through June. So the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be very busy, and I'm going to be trying to schedule as many people as possible during the next couple of weeks. So basically, I don't really know where I'm going to be past June, so it's hard for me to say. I can, if you want to book in June, I can take your name and information. You could send a payment. And we could even schedule it, but I can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to do the reading at that time. So that's what's happening. If you guys want to donate, please do. It's been a while since I saw any donations come through, and I've posted like 100 videos. So if you want to see more content, please donate, even if it's just $10. It means a lot to me. People that have supported my channel have really, really made a difference in my life and have made it possible for me to keep going. And I'm very thankful to those people, and just to everybody who's been really supportive. I do want to say that. So I'm going to pull some charms, but I'm also going to pull some cards. I think I want to pull some charms first. See what we got. Interesting. So we have this key here, that I added around Christmas time because I wanted to have something in my charm bag that represented kind of like the full package. Where you move in with someone, you have a relationship, maybe, you have a family, things like that. Maybe you get married, maybe you don't. But to me, it's a full package deal. Like this key specifically represents like the full package deal. It's really strange though, because I feel like it's not connecting with any of the other charms here so much. Like, it feels like to me, like this is maybe for some of you what you're wanting. Maybe you're wanting like a full package deal where you settle down and have a family with someone, or you wanted to move in with someone, or maybe there's someone who wants to move in with you, regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not. This could indicate roommates, or this could indicate housemates for someone. I'm getting more of a hit on that than on any kind of package deal, where what I call a package deal, which is like settling down, having a family with someone. I feel like this key is actually more of a representation of your freedom. And I don't know why. To me, that's what I'm feeling. Like it's independent. It's like maybe you're getting keys to a new house or apartment, and it's like your freedom, like maybe you feel free finally from a living situation which hasn't been good or hasn't been ideal. I'm getting some kind of element of freedom with this key. I feel like there's also some elements of communication that you're going to feel free to do maybe in this new house or new apartment, where it's like the place that you're moving to in itself is going to be kind of like a, I don't know. It's like the grand central of communication. So you're going to be getting a lot of communication at this place that you're living, this next place that you're living. People are going to be, you know what I mean, hitting you up constantly, texting you, calling you. It just feels like wherever it is that you're maybe moving to, it feels like the communication is is going to ramp up. And I know it sounds like a kind of strange random message, but we have these two feather beads here that represent messages. But the thing is like the way they kind of showed up in the reading is they showed up like in this strange way of it's like an apartment or a house or something. I see that, but to me this is more of like the vibe of the house or the apartment itself, like the new place that you're going. It feels like there's, to me it feels kind of like I don't want to say party central, but I'd have to pull some other charms to see if maybe it's going to be kind of like party central. It feels for someone maybe. Yeah, I knew it. Okay, so so I pulled the pineapple, and the pineapple to me is socialization and can indicate drinking. So I feel like for some of you, like the place that you're going is going to be kind of like party central. That's how it feels. I do feel like someone is going to be like maybe planting some raised beds or working on like a little garden, because we have both the watering can here as well as this flowers here. So maybe some of you are doing like some landscaping, maybe like landscaping your property, things like that. You may actually, for some of you, this is going to sound strange, but like there's someone that's fixing up some like rental property. Like, so say like you own a rental property. You might be working on landscaping for that. Or getting somebody to come by to fix things at like the house there or something like that. To me, it's a very specific message. My guides are saying something really interesting, which is don't let it stop you at this time. Don't let any fears stop this time. And I don't know why that's coming through here, but to me that's the message. Like to me it feels like you're holding yourself back for some reason. And I don't know why that is. Now, you might be holding yourself back because you're afraid of your own potential. You might be holding yourself back because you're afraid of consequences. Some of you are holding yourself back just because, like, you're not even really going for a lot at this time. But we have these wings here, and I've talked about these wings before. And to me, these wings, they have a lot of different symbolization, or representation. I don't know what the word would be, but they symbolize a period of my life where I had gone through a lot, So sometimes we get to a place where we're like, okay, I don't want to do any more like construction work on my life. I don't want to have to go through things again or reapply to the jobs, or I don't have to, you know what I'm saying, continue to work on your life. Like you just want to chill out for a little while, and you get kind of tired of, maybe going through periods, like, where you have to, you're learning a lot, like, all at once, and it's really intense and it's really hard. And I feel like sometimes people's mental health, like when they get very stressed out, really deteriorates a little bit. Like, it's just like they can't mentally sustain long periods of time in their life where they're constantly going through growth, for the periods, or like they're constantly being tested, or like they have to constantly making sacrifices. So it's actually very interesting that this is coming up, because I actually feel that this is going to be like something that people are going to be talking about more in the future. How the stress of the times have become detrimental to their mental health. So it sort of feels like, to me, it feels like you need encouragement to step through another door, to take another step, to keep going, to not see it so much as like, do I give up or do I keep going? But like, see it as a process of moving through a time, or stepping through a door into the next phase of your life, or the next level of your growth. And try to do it optimistically, and try to see it a little bit differently. I feel like it's going to be hard for some of you to do that. Because these wings represented a time in my life where I didn't want to keep doing that. I was like, I'm tired of this. And I just needed the wings, because I had already reached a certain point, and I was like, I need a little lift, a little lightness, a little something. You know what I mean? To get me going, to keep me going. So some of you need maybe a little bit of help, maybe a little bit of assistance, maybe a little bit of encouragement, to keep going, to keep a positive mental attitude, to try to shift the perspective of which you're seeing your life, so that it's not so much like, oh, we have to do all of that all over again, There are periods of my life where I had to do things multiple times. Many, many times. More times than I ever thought I ever would. Like, when I lived in Omaha, and this was the beginning of when I knew there was going to be problems with employment, but like, I didn't know how bad. This was before, I think it was before the pandemic happened, and this was 2019. I think it was like maybe the spring of 2019, or something like that, spring or summer of 2019. And that's when I worked at this bar. And in order to get that job, I applied to 100 and I think 31 jobs. And I went on 23 interviews before I got this job working in healthcare at that time. And the thing is people didn't really understand why I had to apply to that many. And now at this point in time, it's been like almost 2 years since I had a full-time thing, and I've applied to way past like 500. I've thought about going back and counting, and it's probably closer to like 700 at this point, which is a lot. And it's kind of, I don't know, for those of you who watch, her name is Patera. I think it's like the Appalachian or something like that. She always has kind of predictive things that she talks about in her videos. And actually, it's interesting that I'm talking about this now, because in some way it is predictive. And in some way, like, I'm an Aquarius sun. So like what Aquariuses go through a lot of times is reflective of the collective. It's the hoi polloi, it's the everybody, it's the people, So if an Aquarius is going through something, you can bet that other people are going through it as well. It's not just about the Aquarius, and it's not just about whatever their experience is. But so I feel like, and I definitely have resonated, I've talked to other people, and I've definitely resonated with a similar experience. And I think that, and it's so interesting that Patera, I saw this video, she mentioned how everybody was going to have to be prepared for, I think she said roommates. That was what was coming. And, I saw it in one of my last charm readings that there was going to be some instability, and there is something going on, and it's very interesting. And one of the things that I said that was going to happen, and then I saw happening, and the other psychic saw happening, was that there was going to be clothing shortages. We have this North Node in Taurus, which is very material sign, very earth sign, that there was going to be clothing shortages. And I just recently read yesterday on the news that the textile shops in Sri Lanka were closing. Not like they had shut down like temporarily or whatever, because they couldn't afford to keep the shops open. Because for whatever reason, certain countries were calling in their debt. Be like, okay, you guys owe us. And in order to basically pay the debt, they couldn't afford to pay the workers. So essentially those textile shops, like the clothing shops, were shutting down. So I feel like this is actually very interesting, because this is a very interesting time, because I do feel, and I did predict that in June, there would be some very long-term, long-lasting problems that came up. And I saw it as instability. In my last reading, we're going to call it instability in the economy. But to me, that was like a serious, flash of like, okay, if the textile shops or makers are shutting down in this one area, then most likely there's going to be other problems in other countries as well later down the line. And that is why my guides were like, you've got to buy clothes now. You've got to buy clothes now. You've got to buy discount clothes now. You've got to, anything that you might potentially need for kids, for your family. This is where you want to buy some basics. Even if it's just like a couple of pairs of jeans, a couple of pairs of pants, some socks, a bra, and like a hoodie. Like, it's very important that everybody start doing that, because I feel like it's going to become really apparent as we get closer to July. If people are going to start to really see it. And the problem with stuff like this, is that people don't do anything until it becomes a major, massive problem. Like, then they'll run to the store, because then they're in a panic mode and they're flying by the seat of their pants and they need something for their kids and they can't get it. And so that's when there's a problem. So I feel like everybody has to really plan ahead here with this, because this is coming up here, and that's for real. You can look that up on the news. I did not make that up, but I do feel like that's very North Node in Taurus, and right now the North Node is in Taurus until mid-July. So that's something coming up here as well. I don't remember what got me down that track. Oh yeah, Patera. I think Patera had said something about being roommates. Everybody needing to be prepared for like depression-like situations where everybody was going to need to have roommates. And it's very interesting that she said that. And I'll tell you why. Because a while back, I predicted that I think it was my North Node in Aries video, that there was going to be problems with the elderly. And that because of inflation, everybody, including our grandparents, and for some of you, your great-grandparents, were going to need to actually come out of retirement and work in order to pay for housing and pay for food. My guides showed me a long time ago. I don't know if it was what video it was, but it was a movie about the Great Depression, and they all sat around this table, and they had this tiny little, I don't know if it was like a hamburger or something, that they kind of shared pieces of, or they just had like these little small, it was like, imagine like having a tiny patty and like that was your meal, or that was all you were gonna eat. And they all were working towards eating. That's what they were eating. So I said before in some of my other videos that there were going to be problems with there's going to be problems with inflation. I said before in my other videos that there was going to be a 3-year period of time where people were going to have massive food shortages. I still feel like the number 3 is coming. My guides are showing me that. So for some of you, that absolutely still is going to happen. Some of you are burning the candle at both ends. It's interesting. I have this piece of wax in my charm bag, and it looks kind of funny. It's just like this piece of wax, and for like my wax seals and stuff like that. And so some of you are doing that. Like you're getting up really early and you're staying up quite late. So some of you need to make like adjustments to your schedule. I do see that. I also see there's this very special piece in my charm bag called "The Mountains Are Calling and I Must Go." And to me, this represents Ellensburg, where I live specifically, or like wanting to live in the mountains. For some of you who live in the Pacific Northwest, or some of you live in this region, to me, this represents you. But to me, it also represents feeling like a calling or a longing to go someplace that you don't really have an explanation for. You're like, okay, I just need to go over here, or I just need to go over there. It's listen to their guides at this time, in the sense that like if you feel called to go do something, and it could be as much as like, oh, you feel called to go pick up some water, or you feel called to go get some extra gas, or like maybe you feel called to, I don't know, like call a friend or write somebody a letter, or call your family, whatever it is. Like listen to those callings, even if you can't explain it, because that to me is like your guides and spirit really talking and saying, this is not saying like you gotta go do it, but like it's like they're not setting you up for failure, they're setting you up for success. Although I said this before, that my guides are always pushing me off the cliff. They're basically sending me in the direction where there is no bridge, and I just get to leap off. They're setting me up for failure, but I'm so mean to them. But the thing is like, some of you may not have that issue, where you feel like you're being set up for failure. But, I don't know. I would say regardless of whatever it is that you're called to do, that you should go. And specifically, if those of you who are in the Pacific Northwest and you want to go for a hike, or you want to go for like a mountain biking, or you want to do something where you just like, go camping for the day, or, you know what I mean, go see a waterfall somewhere, or hang out with your friends and like, at the park or something. Like to me, that's what you need to go do, And, like I think of Ellensburg, the place where I live, like when I came back, I kept hearing that line from Star Trek where he's like, this was Chris Pine talking to Spock, one of the newer Star Trek movies. He's like, I can't explain it. It doesn't make any sense. It's a gut feeling. If you have a gut feeling about something, it's very important to listen to that right now. I don't necessarily feel like this has anything to do with moving to a special place. This to me just has to do with like your gut telling you something. Now you may end up driving somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, or you may end up, going and visiting a friend, or you may end up doing something that maybe doesn't make any sense to anybody else, and it doesn't have to. And it's interesting. One of my biggest regrets, I'm just going to share this, very personal, is allowing a friend for a very long time to judge me and to make judgments on what I was doing, and to question, always question, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why aren't you doing something else? What about this? What about that? Why don't you go check that out? You know what I mean? It was just very constant judgment. And one of my regrets is that I stayed friends with them for so long, and I should have put a stop to it, but I didn't see it. Because when we're in relationships, we don't see it. And allow yourself at this time to grow. That's what my guides are showing me. Allow yourself at this time to go with your gut, to follow your instincts, to be like, yeah, this is right for me, or no, this is wrong for me. If you want to take a trip somewhere, if you want to go do something, Mercury is finally out of retrograde, so everybody gets the green light to go travel, to go do what they need to do. I don't feel like this is a good time to take risks. I don't feel like this is a time to go out of the country per se, or go backpacking through the wilderness of European countries, although people do it all the time, so I can't stop you. But like, this to me is more of like, if you have a sense of adventure, or a sense of where you wanted to go do something, Mercury's out of retrograde, now would be a good time. But to me, yeah, it's following your gut. And also your passion, to me too. There's something about passion here. So we have this dolphin earring. Of course, I lost the other one, but to me, it's this dolphin earring that I had gone through this long period of time where I didn't have a lot of passion in my life. I was trying to date, and I was dating unsuccessfully. And I was trying my best, but it just wasn't really working. And I didn't have the passion that I needed or wanted. I didn't have the relationship that I needed or wanted. Some of you, I feel like you're coming out of a dry spell. Okay, you're coming out of a dry spell where you may have not had as much passion in your life or sex in your life that you would have liked. Now, a dry spell for some people is like a year. Other people, a dry spell is like 7 to 10 years. So this could be like, again, like a dry spell that you're coming out of, because to me, the dolphin represents passion, sex, love, fun, joy, forgiveness, all that stuff with the dolphin. So for some of you, I would say, again, follow your passion, follow your joy, follow your happiness, follow your forgiveness as well. Like, if you want to make amends with someone, make your amends. If there's something to say it. Like, get it off your chest. I feel like this is all very important things at this time. The cutest little vision I just had. This is like so cute. I'm seeing someone with like a toddler, and they've gone to like this little beachy area, and they're playing with these like little, those plastic buckets and trowels, and scoops, and they're like playing in the sand, and like they're all decked out in their summer gear. So like maybe they're wearing like a little swimsuit and like a hat, and they're covered in sunscreen and like some little shoes, and they're just kind of playing in the sand, or for some of you it's like they're playing in the mud somewhere. And it's this cutest little vision. It's really summery like vision. So maybe where you're at, like it's warm enough to take, if you have a little toddler, for like a little, beach trip or something like that. Or you're taking like a little toddler someplace to hang out by the water, and maybe they're playing with their toys. I'm seeing that. I don't know why I'm seeing that. It's really super cute. To me, it represents fun. Again, following your fun, following your passion, doing things that are fun for you at this time. This is the spring energy. This is spring summer energy. It's kind of nostalgic a little bit, For some of you, you're going to be having more fun than others. But I would say this is going to sound strange. I feel like some of you need to like not hold yourself back. That's what I want to say. Like, for whatever reason, that's what I want to say. Like, you might want to go someplace, but you're like, I can't go there. I don't, and then you don't do it. Maybe you feel like you want to call up a friend or text somebody, but you don't do it. Maybe you want to take your kids to the beach, but you don't. Like, it's just like, maybe there's some like limiting beliefs or limitations to like things that you want to do, but you can't quite do them. For some of you, it's money. For others, like, you're just not doing it. And I don't know why. So yeah, those are the charms. That's what's coming through from the charms. We did get the pearl again. I want to talk about that really quickly. It's like this little pearl. And I think of the pearl as like, a time where you have to have a lot of grit. You have to be very determined to get through things. And the pearl, when it shows up, I don't really like the energy so much, but to me, it's a very clear message of still needing to have a lot of determination to get shit done and to just to get ahead. This is not just making plans and following through. This is more of being really tough, standing up for yourself, not settling for less, negotiating really hard. I think of the grit, like when you have to call, like for my food SNAP benefits, it took me like 5 hours or something to call. I think I spent a total of hours that day, like waiting to get through, and I finally got through. So this is one of those things where you have to have determination to get what you want at this time. And the more determination you have, the better I think everybody will be. Or the better you'll be. It's interesting. Some of you are very much like overly focused on your career path. Like, you need to live life to the fullest. And that to me, this goes like back to what I said in the charms. Like, the charms are really showing like needing to live life to the fullest. And what does that mean? It means focusing more on friends, focusing more on family, focusing on having connections, focusing on your health. It's really like, to me, it's like when you go into a singular mindset and you're not thinking about your health and you're overly focused on career, then you suffer. When you're overly focused on, like, let's just say yourself, then your friends suffer because then you don't really reach out to anybody and you don't connect with anybody. So to me, that's what I'm seeing here. It's just a kind of card about balance. Some of you feel guilty about something that you've done. And some of you just need to forgive yourself for what you've done, but others you might want to seek, other people's forgiveness for the guilt, for the things that you've done. Again, the feeling of like needing to make amends here for something is coming up. I don't know what this is. I think for some of you, like, you've decided, okay, I'm going to do better in my life. I'm not going to cheat, or I'm not going to, like, continue bad habits, things like that. Because we have the Judgment card here, but it's in reverse. So to me, this is like, in some way, freedom. It's going back to like what I said about the whole judgment thing. Freedom from judgment. Like, freedom from judgment is when you say to a person in your life, no, we gotta be friends because you judge me every single thing I do and single thing I say. And that's not okay. And, you can sit there and judge me, or you can sit there and be kind and compassionate and loving. This is your choice. This is up to you, So like, some of you may be having that conversation with people. Others, I feel like you're having a conversation about stuff that maybe that you should have done differently. Or you could have done differently. My guides are confirming that. Where you could have done things differently, but you didn't. And to me, it's important to work on forgiving ourselves, but also like allowing and giving others the opportunity to forgive us as well for the things that we've done, making amends. I do feel like some things are going to fall into place for you. You don't realize it, but things are going to fall into place for you. If you have felt like things are not falling into place, then you need to kind of switch and change your narrative, okay? about how things are always going well and always going to fall into place. Or you just need to deal with the fact that it's not falling into place, and this too shall pass, and things do pass, and things shift out of negative energies. Some of you are refusing to move on with your life, even after, let's just say, a breakup, or someone's ghosted you, or someone said, they don't want to be in your life. Like, to me, it's like a refusal to move on with your life. I think, to me, like, this is a little bit more complicated, because there are times in life in which, and I think of this as alignment. It's just a little bit more complicated to explain, but I'm going to try to do my best. So, like, when we come into alignment with someone, it doesn't matter what piece of paper says that we shouldn't. And it doesn't matter what we previously have said or agreed upon with anybody else. It's just the fact that we're in alignment with someone, and that alignment makes everything possible. And it makes it possible to reconnect. It makes it possible to forgive. It makes it possible to love each other. It makes it possible to start fresh. It makes it possible, forgive from past mistakes, and sort of, because you're in a new recalibration, it makes everything possible when you're in alignment. When you're out of alignment, jack shit happens. Jack happens. But when you're in alignment, this is when babies get made. This is when people come together. This is when peace happens. This is when our best selves come out. This is when we blossom. This is when we bloom. Oh, that's another thing. One of the other things that came out in my charm bag was, I didn't talk about it, was this butterfly. And this butterfly, to me, talks about blossoming into your best self, the best version of yourself, and not being held back by anything, and allowing yourself to blossom. So let's just say, hypothetically, there's different scenarios here, but like scenario one is where someone's ghosted you, or you come to the end of the line with the relationship and you're out of alignment, meaning you've moved on, you feel they've moved on, and it's best for everybody to move on. But someone is like refusing to accept that, the lack of alignment. Or the fact that maybe things weren't going to work. That's scenario one. Scenario two is when you're actually in alignment again with someone who's no longer in your life. And it's possible to have that happen. It's possible to come back into alignment with someone later in time. It's possible that people can bump into each other or meet each other later in time and have another conversation about things, or pick up where they left off, or have sex again, or, all different kinds of things. Go out for a meal together or something, It's just like a lot of things can happen when you're back into alignment. So some of you, you're out of alignment and you need to move on from a relationship. And others, you're actually back in alignment with someone from a time when things weren't the best. Maybe you said your goodbye or something like that, and you moved on from it. I do feel like there is some element of financial freedom here coming, and I don't know how this is going to come about, but to me this is financial freedom. And the universe is like, it's a total surprise, because we're getting this blank card here. We do have the Four of Pentacles, which in this deck is a nest egg. It's financial freedom. It's satisfaction in money. It's I don't know what I wrote. It says the surety and something, equity and finances, or security. No, it's security. It says the surety and security and finances that you've needed for so long. Some of you, and I don't know where, again, this is coming from. You're coming into a space of financial prosperity. Maybe this is a gift of cash from somebody. This could be, it doesn't look like an inheritance to me, but it could be. But to me, this is financial freedom some way, somehow. Or some of you are just, it's like you're going along through life, and maybe at points in your life you lost a lot, or points in life, you're flying solo, and then you've been able to save up and kind of do very well for yourself as far as like your savings, and you have a sense of security. And I feel like there may be multiple income streams as well. Some of you, it's like a new business, or maybe you're trying to start a new business, and this is energy of doing well in business, or like people investing in your business as well. There's so many things coming through here that it's just like my brain is like it's exhausting. Basically, like for some of you, this is like savings, but also there's a gift of cash coming in somehow. And for some of you, this could be like all of the above, where it's like, okay, you have a business and there's people that are supporting that business, or maybe you've been able to save up in that business, and then business is going well. Could also indicate, like again, investments, like people investing in you. It says, this is a very interesting message. It says that your dreams can become a reality if you choose to make them happen. If you realize the potential, this can be realizing potential in someone or something. So some of you, I feel like, have big dreams. Like you're kind of big dreamers. That's what I want to say. I do feel for the majority of you, like it's almost as if you're kind of going it alone for some of you. Like, I feel like the universe is saying to you to really examine your friendships. You might actually lose quite a lot of friends at this time. For some of you, it's actually going to be a blessing that you're no longer talking to some people. That's what I want to say. That's coming through here. But there's also blessings. It's sort of like the story goes, you lose a friend, and then somehow some other blessing pops up. People can block your blessings. They can. Friends can block your blessings. It's important to have friends though. So I'm not saying, call everybody up and tell everybody after you, but it's more of like, this is like the story here. The story is some of you may lose a friend, and then some kind of blessing pops up in your life. I'm going to pull one last card and see what I get. This is kind of mimicking what I said about the grit, the pearl in my charm reading. The fortitude card really is, it's like having grit, having fortitude, being determined to get something or someplace in life. To me, this is where there is determination to get ahead, or to find your own way, or to forge your own path. My guides, I'm getting this huge download about how they're saying in life, like we start off in our life kind of doing what our family wants us to do, or doing what we think we want. Things change, and we have people that are influencing us in sometimes a positive or negative way. And sometimes we kind of go off path and we do different things, and then we find ourselves sort of regardless of how we turn in life, we kind of forge our own way. We kind of make our own way in the world. And it's kind of a little bit of a balance between what people want for us and then what we want for ourselves. And in this kind of winding path, we have both the help from other people, but we also have the strength to kind of do things on our own. And I feel like that's really the balance here. So I feel like some of you're going to have help where you need it. But I also feel like the universe is like kind of testing you a little bit to see how strong you are to do it on your own. For some of you, like, this is not going to be for everyone. I think I'm going to leave off here. Thank you guys so much for being amazing fans and followers. I'll be back again for more, so stay tuned. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. I'll talk to you guys again soon. If you want a private reading, please send a payment through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. The links are in the description box. You can check out my website, oracledaphne.com. Please give me a thumbs up. Really helps. And make a comment also really helps on my channel. So thank you guys again. I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. Bye.